Today's lesson is called A Trip to the Fringe. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
My name is Roger, and today we're going to talk about a festival that takes place every year in the month of August in Scotland, more specifically in the city of Edinburgh. If you've heard of this place, it's quite pretty, I've heard. I've never been there myself, but the Fringe Festival is something that we are going to talk about. Unfortunately, though, you can't really go there and see anything going on because of the nasty virus. It's been canceled along with lots of other things, but there are probably lots of videos on YouTube that you can watch of past Fringe festivals.
I mean, it's still a great festival, so it's a great thing to talk about, and that's what we'll be doing over the next couple of days. But sadly, yes, if you were planning a trip to the Fringe, to this festival, sadly, you won't be able to go this year because of COVID-19. But yes, the story behind this festival and the festival itself is extremely interesting. It's worthy of your time and of some effort here as far as learning English is concerned. Anyways, folks, let's go ahead and take a short break, but when we come back, we'll start talking about an article called A Trip to the Fringe.
A Trip to the Fringe.
Edinburgh is a beautiful place to visit at any time of the year, but there's nothing like going there in August when the city throws a huge 3-week party known as the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Spread far and wide across the city, this fun-filled annual arts and performance celebration is the biggest event of its kind, second only to the Olympics in ticket sales. Those lucky enough to make it to the Fringe will lose themselves in music, dance, comedy, and lots more.
大家好，第一部分我们看到形容词 annual 指一年一次的、每年的、年度的，像是 Everyone goes out to enjoy the annual spring parade 大家都出门享受一年一度的春季游行，或是 Competitors come from all over the world to take part in the annual marathon 来自全球各地的参赛者参加这场年度马拉松赛事。另外补充一个相关单字，在 annual 的字首加上 bi 就成了形容词 biannual 指一年2次的，字首 bi 表示二双的意思。我们可以说 The university encouraged students to attend the biannual careers fair 这所大学鼓励学生参加一年2次的就业博览会。再来我们看到单字 Olympics 这个字是名词，意思是奥运，前面会加 the 亦可写作 The Olympic Games 像是Patty is an excellent skier who hopes to compete in the Olympics someday. Patty 是一名优秀的滑雪者，他期许自己有天能参加奥运比赛。另外，这个字去掉字尾 s 就成了形容词 Olympic， 意思是奥运的。举例来说 During the games, athletes are housed in the Olympic Village. 比赛期间，运动员都住在奥运选手村里。接着，我们看到片语 make it to 加名词表示顺利抵达，例如 If we don't leave right now, we won't make it to the airport in time. 如果我们不立刻出发，就无法及时赶到机场。另外，除了上面的意思，这个片语还可以指成功打入……像是 The team made it to the finals, but then lost. 那支队伍成功打进决赛，但之后却输了。再补充2个相关片语。第一 ，make it to the big screen 表示登上大荧幕。拍成电影。举例来说 The novel was a big hit, and 2 years later, an adaptation of it made it to the big screen. 这部小说很畅销，2年后便被改编拍成电影。第二 make it to the top 表示出人头地。我们可以说 You'll never make it to the top if you don't work hard. 如果你不努力，你永远无法出人头地。
Okay, let's get to it. As promised, we are going to discuss the fringe. We're taking a trip to the fringe. And when I see the word fringe, it usually makes me think of clothing. If you wear clothing and then you have some kind of designs on the end of the sleeves or at the bottom of the dress, that stuff is called fringe. I remember when I first came to Taiwan, lots of young women likes to wear these long dresses with lots of fringe. But in this particular case, we're not talking about clothing. We're talking about a festival that's kind of on the edge.
It is, or it was, I should say, at its beginning, on the edge of another festival, I believe, actually. There was a theater troupe that showed up in Edinburgh one day and said, hey, we want to be a part of this main theatrical festival that you have there. And they were turned away. They said, nope. You can't perform here because you don't have the proper credentials or you weren't invited. So what this troupe did, this theater crew there did, they didn't leave Edinburgh in shame. No, they started their own festival right then and there. They just started performing all over the place, kind of on the fringes or on the fringe of this main festival there. And that main festival is no longer the main festival. This fringe festival is now the main festival there in Edinburgh. Anyways, let's go ahead and learn some more about this particular festival by reading our article. The first sentence says, Edinburgh is a beautiful place to visit at any time of the year, but there's nothing like going there in August when the city throws a huge 3-week party known as the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So there you go. It's not a 3-hour party or a 3-day party. It's a 3-week party. How fun.
Yep, so Edinburgh is a wonderful place to visit at any time of the year. Winter, spring, fall, and summer. There's a lot to see and do in Edinburgh, no matter when you go. But the best time to go, at least according to this sentence, is in August. There's nothing like going there in August. Nothing else compares because that's when there's this big party. The city throws this party. When you hold a party, sometimes we say you throw a party. So the city throws a huge party that is 3 weeks long. So notice here, 3 week describes the word party, so we don't put an S at the end of the word week there. I could say it's a party that lasts 3 weeks. And what's it known as, or what do people call it? Well, it's the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Now, speaking of parties, let's learn some more about the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Spread far and wide across the city, this fun-filled annual arts and performance celebration is the biggest event of its kind, second only to the Olympics in ticket sales. Now, I'm not exaggerating here. This Fringe Festival is just this big. Not only does it last for 3 weeks, but it's the biggest event of its kind in the world. And to get an idea of just how big it is in terms of sales, ticket sales, it's second only to the Olympics. Yes, the Olympic Games. How cool is that? Anyways, this is a fun-filled annual arts and performance celebration. It's an amazing thing to behold. And yes, here we've got a few things to talk about. First of all, it's fun-filled. Filled with fun. If you go there, you're going to have an excellent time. It'll be a very entertaining time. So yes, we've got a fun-filled annual arts and performance celebration. A celebration, by the way, it's kind of like a party, okay? That's what the idea is here behind this word. When you celebrate, you party. You have a good time because something has happened. Like when I graduated from college, my parents threw me a party. We celebrated that. Congratulations, Jeff, for graduating from college. Here's a party. Here's a celebration in your honor. By the way, this is an annual arts and performance celebration. That means they hold it every year, except this year they won't be holding it because of COVID-19. Boo-hoo.
Yes, so it's every day, it's daily. If it's every week, it's weekly. If it's every month, it's monthly. And if it's every year, it's annual, or it's held annually as an adverb there. So here, it's an annual event. It's fun-filled, and it has arts and performance, and it's a big celebration, as we've talked about. Now, it's second only to the Olympics. Of course, the Olympic Games takes place every 4 years. It was supposed to take place this year in Tokyo. You know why? It's been postponed for a year. And they sell more tickets there. At least the Fringe Festival sells almost as many tickets as the Olympic Games. They're second only to the Olympics. But those lucky enough to make it to the Fringe will lose themselves in music, dance, comedy, and lots more. So there are a lot of things to check out and do there. If you're lucky enough to make it there, you'll have a good time. You'll lose yourself in all these different kinds of performance. So here, make it to something. That means you're able to get to a certain place. It doesn't mean that you're able to do something. That is a mistake I often hear here in Taiwan. Trust me, you can make it. That is basically incorrect. It's an old advertising phrase. Trust me, you can do it would be more correct.
Yeah, if you can make it somewhere, that means you can travel there and arrive there in some way, shape, or form. If you can do something, that means you have the ability to do that thing, the capacity to do that thing. But here, what we're saying is that, hey, if you get a chance to go and then you actually go, if you make it to the Fringe, you are going to have a great time. You are going to lose yourself in music, dance, comedy, and lots more. Anyways, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Almost every nook and cranny in Edinburgh turns into a stage during the Fringe. You might find yourself entranced by a magician on a boat, captivated by a comedian in a bathroom, or cheering on dancers in a swimming pool. The element of surprise will always be near, but wherever you go to catch a performance, your experience will be unlike any other.
第二部分，我们看到动词 entrance， 意思是使着迷。举例来说 Maria was simply entranced by the beauty of the night sky. Maria 纯粹对夜空之美深深着迷。另外，这个字也可以当作名词，指入口，这时候念作 entrance。例如 I'll meet you at the building's entrance in 5 minutes. 5分钟内我会在大楼的入口处跟你碰面。再补充一个同义动词 captivate， C-A-P-T-I-V-A-T-E， captivate 指使着迷，使陶醉，吸引，像是 The novel's fantasy setting captivated the imaginations of many readers. 那部小说的梦幻情节让许多读者看得入迷。
All right, in the second part, we're going to talk about some more specific information about the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. Now, almost every nook and cranny in Edinburgh turns into a stage during the Fringe. Now, if you talk about a nook and if you talk about a cranny, you're talking about small little corners located in the city. But you know something? I racked my brains on this and I couldn't really think of any other times we use the term nook and cranny. They're almost always used together in this phrase. Every nook and cranny, which means everywhere and every place in the city.
There you go. And I've heard this about the Fringe. All you have to do is to show up, find a place to perform, and perform. Does that mean you have to find a theater that will host you? Do you have to go to any special venue or anything like that? No, you can perform anywhere you want. So yes, in Edinburgh there during the Fringe, every nook and cranny of the city, it is just filled with action. All of these nooks and crannies turn into stages during the Fringe. People are literally performing everywhere. Now, you might find yourself entranced by a magician on a boat, captivated by a comedian in a bathroom, or cheering on dancers in a swimming pool. So there you have it. You are totally going to lose yourself in music, dance, comedy, and lots more. You might find yourself entranced. By the way, if you do lose yourself in something, you can say that you've been entranced by that thing. You can be entranced by a magician on a boat. Yeah, the magician is going to cast his or her spell on you. Or maybe you can be captivated by a comedian in a bathroom. So you go to the bathroom there and wow, there are performers in there as well. You got a comedian in there in the John telling jokes.
Indeed, you're going to see a comedian or hear a comedian. That's a person who tells jokes on stage. Comedians are wildly popular in the United States. And the element of surprise will always be near, but wherever you go to catch a performance, your experience will be unlike any other. So that's the special feature of this particular celebration, the element of surprise. You never know know what you're going to get. Remember, a surprise is something that you do not expect. So around every corner, you'll be surprised by basically anything that has to do with performance.
There you go. A surprise, by the way. It catches you off guard, but in a good way. If someone scares you or startles you, okay, you're not expecting them to do that, but it's not a good thing. Surprises, though, are usually good. Oh, that's nice. I didn't expect that. That's great. That's fantastic. Like, what a surprise. I won the lottery last week, and I won 1,200 NT. Oh, that was great. What a surprise. I didn't expect that, but it was still pretty good. Anyways, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll wrap up the first portion of our lesson on the fringe.
Another of the Fringe's unique features is that any performer can participate. No organizer decides who can put on a show there, so many artists flock there to try out their material. In fact, many big names were launched at the Fringe, including Rowan Atkinson, Emma Thompson, and Robin Williams, to name a few.
最后第三部分，我们看到一个单字 flock， 这个字是动词，指蜂拥聚集，像是 Visitors are flocking to the newly opened theme park. 游客蜂拥前去那座新开幕的主题乐园。另外，这个字也可以当名词，指飞禽、羊等的一大群。我们可以说 The flock of sheep followed the shepherd across the plain. 那群羊跟着牧羊人穿越平原。
Okay, let's talk about the final part of today's lesson here. It says, another of the Fringe's unique features is that any performer can participate. So that's a unique feature of this celebration. If something's unique, it's one of a kind. You don't see it in any other place. It's special. Unique, you could describe somebody as having a unique personality. I don't know anybody else like you. You have a unique personality. It's special. It's one of a kind. So this is a unique feature. You can go to all sorts of performances in the world, but this one has this unique feature, and the feature is any performer can participate. If you have some kind of talent, you can play the guitar or juggle bowling pins or whatever, you can probably put on some kind of performance there.
Just show up and go to work. Seriously, you can perform anywhere you want. You don't really have to talk to anyone about organizing your show or anything like that. There are some rules, I'm sure, but for the most part, you are free to perform wherever you want. Now, can you do that in the middle of like a hospital operating room? Probably not, but otherwise, for the most part, you are very free to perform when you are performing at the Fringe. Now, more on this freedom. The next sentence says, no organizer decides who can put on a show there, so many artists flock there to try out their material. So there you go. There's not really a boss of the Fringe Festival. No organizer decides who can put on a show there. So there you go. You show up and you go to work. Anyways, an organizer, that's someone who organizes something, someone who arranges something, someone who takes care of the details of something, someone who puts together something, okay? But in this particular situation, there isn't a single person in charge of putting together this particular festival, okay? Basically, if you're a performer, you show up and you perform.
Yeah, an organizer could be one person, it could be a group of people, it could be a company or whatever. So yeah, nobody really decides who can put on a show there. So as a result of this, lots of artists will flock there to try out their material. Flock here is being used as a verb. It just means a large number of people or animals go from one place to another.
Like a flock of seagulls. Very rarely do you see only one seagull alone, not hanging out with other seagulls. No, usually they hang together in big groups called flocks, okay? So that would be the word being used as a noun. But yes, if you do flock somewhere, you move there with other people in great numbers. That's the idea here. We've got artists flocking there, moving there in great numbers because they want to try out their material. No one's going to stop them, so they're going to go there, perform, and experiment. Try out their new stuff, maybe. Anyways, in fact, many big names were launched at the Fringe, including Rowan Atkinson, Emma Thompson, and Robin Williams, to name a few. So there you go. They were launched into stardom at the Fringe. How cool. By the way, here when you're launching something, or you're not sending a rocket up into the sky, no. When you're launching something, you're giving that thing its start.
That's right, and it can also be a noun, the launch of your new product, for example, or the product was launched on September 1st, for example. So lots of big names, lots of famous people got their start at the Fringe, including Mr. Bean himself, Rowan Atkinson, also Emma Thompson. Wasn't she in the Harry Potter movies, I believe? And also Robin Williams, who tragically committed suicide a number of years ago. But still, these people were famous there for getting their start at the Fringe Festival. And that's just to name a few, just to give you a few examples. There are many other people who became famous after performing there as well.
There you have it. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to say goodbye for now, but don't worry, don't fret. The Chinese teacher is waiting in the wings.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。爱丁堡是一个美丽的城市，一年当中任何时候都很适合造访。不过课文写到 There's nothing like going there in August. 8月去是再好不过了。那这边我们要介绍的句型是 There's nothing like加上名词或动名词，表示没有什么比得上什么什么，最好的莫过于什么什么。好，那这个句型是用来强调某人或某事物是最棒的，没有其他人事物可以比得上。你也可以把它写作 Nothing is like 加上名词或动名词。举例来说 There's nothing like a good cup of coffee in the morning. 没有什么事物比得上早上来一杯好喝的咖啡，也就是早上最棒的事就是来一杯好喝的咖啡了。好，再来补充几个语义相近的句型哦。第一个是 There is no better 加名词 than 什么什么。那这是用否定字词去搭配比较级来表达出最高级的意思，表示说没有什么比什么什么更怎么样的了，也就是说什么什么就是最怎么样的。例如 There's no better way to start your day than with a hearty breakfast. 要迎接崭新的一天，吃一顿丰盛早餐是最好的方法了。好，第二个补充的句型是 Nothing is形容词比较级 than 什么什么。例如 Nothing is more relaxing than a massage after a long day at work. 没有什么比工作一整天之后去按摩更令人放松的了，也就是说工作一整天之后去按摩是最令人放松的。第三个补充的句型是 Nothing is as 形容词 as 怎么样怎么样。好，那这个是用否定字词去搭配原级比较的句型，同样可以表达出最高级的语义哦。例如 Nothing is as important as health. 没有什么像健康一样重要，也就是说健康是最重要的。好，那么爱丁堡国际艺穗节呢，是一个充满乐趣的年度艺术表演庆典。那它的范围遍及整座城市。课文就写到说，这个庆典是该类型中规模最大的 ，the biggest event of its kind。而且他说票房仅次于奥运会 ，second only to the Olympics in ticket sales。好，那这边我们就来补充两个重点哦。第一个，我们刚刚说到 of one's kind。它是指说同类中的同类型当中的，像是 Their product has been rated the best of its kind. 他们的产品被评选为该类型当中最佳产品。第二个补充的重点是 second only to 什么什么，表示仅次于什么什么，像是可能是排名啊、规模等等仅次于什么。例如 In terms of population, India is second only to China. 就人口数而言 印度仅次于中国，也许不久后它就会超越中国了。好，那么以上今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Annual. The president of the company gave a speech at the annual dinner. Celebration. When the war ended, there were celebrations throughout the country. Comedian. We listened and laughed as the comedian told jokes on stage. Unique. That is a very unique ring that you are wearing. I've never seen anything like it. Organizer. If you have any questions, you can contact the organizer of the event by email. Flock. Fans flocked toward the stage to get a closer view of the band. Launch. Neil launched his music career back in the 70s.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.